Welcome back, everybody, to the third episode of the Central Sports Pod with my
Yes,
friends
sir.
Gerald and
Yo,
Addison.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
yeah, so I guess let's jump right into it. Let's do a little recap of the past week. I guess we'll start with the series with the Pirates. Split the series. Um, kind of unfortunate, but the Pirates aren't too bad this season, so I can't really complain. We didn't score more than five
Yeah.
in any of the games. We scored three, two times, and once we scored zero. Uh, Offense seems to have good and bad days, but it's kind of hard playing from behind sometimes. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, when you're able to get out and take a lead, that gives everyone confidence. But, with the pitching, they are giving up the runs first. So kind of hard when you don't have the momentum, but, the offense is looking better as of late. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I agree. I think some of the offensive question marks have been cleared up, but they are, it seems like, playing from behind a lot. So, you know,
Yeah, we went into extras twice against the Pirates. We won one of them, which luckily I was there for the game, which was great to see. Um,
How was that, man?
Man, it was awesome. It was rough. It was a good game. It was back and forth a lot.
Yeah.
Newt came up
It's,
real clutch with that two-run bomb to tie the game up in the sixth.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He also walked three times, and it's good to have him back and healthy.
Yeah. He's a great player. I just think we need to give him a full season in the outfield, but with so much depth, it's hard.
Yeah, another good thing about these this past week is that Contreras is finally stepping up, starting to get into his groove. In one of the games against the Pirates, he had two hits, an RBI, a walk, and a run. Since April 16th, he's had 16 at bats with 8 hits, 4 extra base hits, and 2 home runs, which he didn't have either an extra base hit or a home run a whole season up until April
That point.
16th. Uh, and 6 RBIs. He had a total of 18 bases. I can't complain about any of that.
Yeah, you can really tell he is getting locked in at the plate. He's seeing the ball well. He's hitting the ball everywhere with power. Like in the two home run game, his first home run was like a 450-foot shot. He pulled it, but he crushed it. And then the second home run was the opposite field home run. So really, really liking the way his swing looks, and it's refreshing to have a catcher that can hit. You know,
yeah, I think he's really come around. I think in the last two series, he's looked a lot better than he started off. So it's refreshing. It's starting to restore some confidence in him.
yeah, and I feel like that gives our lineup a lot of versatility. You've seen Ali switch up the lineups, put Goldie at second. I like that type of stuff, like experimenting with new lineups, seeing where guys can fit in well, and playing off of each other. With the game we just had yesterday, we scored 14 runs, so that just shows like the switching up the offense has been rewarding.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, also can't complain about Mr. Nolan Gorman. Just keeps crushing the ball. He hasn't slowed down since the start of the season. Especially when I was there at the game, I'm pretty sure he got a double at one point. And yeah, I feel like it just sparks a little bit of like fear into the other team when Gorman comes up, especially recently, which is kind of what we need towards the bottom of that order with Jordan Walker as well.
Yeah, but my take on it is, I feel like we should move Nolan Gorman up in the lineup because I like the idea of having a lefty that can break up Arenado and Goldie. But wherever you're putting him in the lineup right now, he's hitting. Like, so it's just great to see he's so much different than last year with his approach.
He does just he seems just unfazed about everything. He's just there for games to get hits. He doesn't really care where you put him, who he's facing. He's just up there getting hits, doing his job. So I've
Yeah,
been really impressed by Nolan Gorman.
yeah.
Yeah. Staying on the topic of the Pirates series, Michaelis went out there when I got to go to the game. His struggles continue. His ERA sits at 8.1 after 3 games. To me, it seems like he gets behind a lot to start the counts. When I was there, it seemed like he started with a ball every at bat. He's pitched 20 innings, 8.10 ERA. He's given up 36 hits, which equals out to 1.8 hits per inning. Uh, and that's kind of scary to look at. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a question for you guys about Michaelis. Do you think that the World Baseball Classic affected how he started his season?
Addison, you want to take this one?
Um,
I'll go after that.
well, I was thinking about it. I don't know. I mean, maybe because he missed some time, like in spring training, but it's not like he took time off. Like he was
Yeah,
still, playing baseball. I don't know. I'm really puzzled by Michaelis's start this year. I mean, I've never really thought that Michaelis was an ace. I mean, obviously, I think he's better than what he's doing now. Excuse me. And I don't. It's tough, right? Because first half of the year last year, he was a Cy Young contender, like just an absolute stud, just shut down. Um, but do we look at that and is that kind of fluky, or is that his ceiling and he's just kind of regressed from that? I mean, obviously, with the extension we just paid him, I really hope that he gets back to where he was. But I mean, I don't know. He's a really big question mark for me right now.
Yeah.
yeah, he's a question mark, but he's a veteran guy. I'm not sure what it is, like you said. I'm really puzzled about what I've seen because he's not really the type of guy that falls behind in counts. He's usually able to spot up his fastball or his curveball. He can play within the zone. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but you know, don't rely on him to be the ace,
Yeah.
which I think we have two other guys in front of him that are better pitchers than him, way like Flaherty and Montgomery. But you know,
My take on
just
it,
gotta.
I feel like it had a lot to do with. I don't think it had anything to do with the World Baseball Classic. I think most of the thing that got him was maybe that new extension. Maybe it put a little pressure on him to be that guy for the Cardinals this season. Also Wayno's out, so you can't rely on him anymore, really. Because I mean, towards last year, the end of last year, you kind of fell apart. But that's also due to injuries. But I think with Michaelis, I don't know, he kind of maybe I feel like it's more mental than anything because he got a new extension. Flaherty, this would be his first season back, really, fully healthy, and I don't know. I feel like it more had to do with the pressure that came with that extension. If I had to guess on anything.
I think it could be a mental thing. I wonder, like we were talking about trading for an ace last week. I wonder if we trade for one or if Flaherty steps up and, kind of reclaims his ace role on the team, if that will start to shift Michaelis's mindset and we'll see him become, more comfortable as the season goes along with that.
Yeah, with these veteran guys, I feel like you just let them kind of adjust to start the season on some things. They've been here before as far as struggling. He's pitched in the MLB. and overseas, so he knows how to make adjustments. So I feel like just having that trust will make me have confidence in him. But yeah, hopefully it improves.
Yeah, staying on. I think Michaelis just needs time, really. I mean, Flaherty's looking good, honestly, even though he let up like 4 or 5 runs in one inning the other game, but it happens.
Which that happened when Palante came in and he gave up the grand slam. So I feel like he pitched better than what the stats showed because he got taken out and then the grand slam got hit. But
Yeah, talk about Palante. He just got sent down to Memphis as they brought up JoJo Romero. I kind of like the move. I think last year I enjoyed watching Romero pitch out there after he got traded. We traded for him. Um, I just like his stuff. It just adds another lefty. Plus, with Henness's Cabrera also playing up, I like it.
yeah, yeah, Hennessy's has looked very good actually, which I've always liked him. And I was kind of confused when he didn't start the year on the roster, but he's looked good, and I like JoJo Romero stuff. So having those lefties in the bullpen, perfect.
Yeah, I think I felt like Palante was kind of rushed into into the majors. I felt like being so young, he would benefit from some more time down, and maybe we were just kind of experimenting with him um, being up. So I'm not worried about him. I hope he's can go down and regain some confidence, and um, we always talk about, our bullpen's deep, our roster is deep. So if somebody's not performing, it's just next man up. So
Right.
I hope Cabby can keep up his performance, and I hope Jojo Romero can fill that spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Recently, it was announced that Jordan Hicks, with all his struggles, obviously is Addison being his biggest fan. He will be played in lower leverage situations to maybe get his form back. We did get to see him close out the game yesterday. Um,
Yeah,
he pitched. He had 18 pitch inning. He got 2 strikeouts and a walk, uh, but no hits. I mean, I guess that it's an improvement. Obviously, closing. I mean, it's easier to close when you're up 14-5, but uh, yeah, I mean, it's just a step in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. What I'm getting from the situation is definitely mental. That's what he talked about with Jim Hayes, I believe, like the Cardinals announcer. He was saying how he was feeling good. He was just not necessarily doing the right thing on the mound as far as mental wise. I'm not sure exactly what he said, but you can see that like when he goes out there, he's throwing his stuff with confidence. You can really see it. Like it's electric. He has a sinker that moves and is like 103 miles per hour. So as long as he can get that in the zone, like that's going to be hard to hit.
No, yeah, I love how he just comes out firing. I mean,
yeah.
I wasn't able to watch the end of yesterday's game because I had to go to work, but I was, following through my phone, and I just see the first three pitches were 103 mile per hour sinkers, and it's like,
Yeah,
you can't really complain about that if you put them where they're supposed to be.
right.
The last week, the guy I was trying to compare him to that I couldn't remember the name of, Carlos Martinez. That's what I think
Mm,
of. That's what I think of Jordan Hicks, because he comes out and he's just absolute gas. Okay, which is great, but some days he's gas and he hits the zone and he's untouchable and he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. And then the next day he's missing the zone by 3 feet and throwing behind hitters. And so that's where I get a little uptight with Jordan Hicks.
yeah, the
Because,
consistency.
I just wonder, instead of, Instead of throwing 101 on your sinker, what if you throw 97 and
Right,
you can hit the zone still? Like,
right. Like
you know what
aim
I'm
it.
saying? His stuff
Yeah,
moves like his stuff. He's got good movement. Like he's hard to hit regardless of his velocity. It's
yeah.
just I just wonder how can we make his control more consistent.
Yeah, I remember last year when he was in the starting rotation to start the season. He was throwing like more 96, 97.
Yep. Yep.
It seemed more relaxed. So I wonder if
Yeah.
we can get that version of him. Like that plays, 96, 97, that is definitely still above average. With the
Yeah.
sinker, it's tough to square up. That's probably one of the toughest pitches to square up is a sinker. So it's gonna play.
So, what do you guys think of who, in your opinion, I have a question for you guys. Who has been our best pitcher so far? Starting pitcher or relief?
With starters, I'm gonna have to say Flaherty. I'm gonna have to say
Yeah.
Flaherty as far as the
Yeah.
starters because he has one of the best ERAs in baseball actually right now. So you know, that along with him getting the confidence and stuff, and he's still working on things, which I'm not sure if he's gonna continue the success because he has had a lot of walks and stuff, and but he looks good right now. Like I'm really happy with what I see from him. What do you guys think about the starting pitching? Do you think he's been the best?
I think it's really been him. I think if you asked me that last week, I'd probably tell you Jordan
Yeah,
Montgomery. But I mean, Jordan had a rough game. Forget who it was the other day, but Jordan would he give up
like
seven,
it
something
was
like
against the
that?
Diamondbacks.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but I feel
um,
like he got unlucky because they were like hitting balls in the dirt. Did y'all see that?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, it was a weird game.
yeah,
But Flaherty has been so surprising, and like I've been really pleased with his season so far.
yeah, and it seems like every start he's getting better. Like, have y'all
Yeah,
noticed that?
yeah,
Like, I know the stat line from last game says that he gave up 4 runs, and that seventh inning what kind of fell apart. But before that, he retired 10 batters in a row. I was like,
yeah.
okay, yeah,
It's
this
it's
looks
kind
like
of crazy. It's like sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's like we're watching like a rookie. Like like I feel like I'm watching like a rookie pitcher come up, and like every game, like you see more experience get under his belt, even though like he's got the MLB experience. It's just like he's getting back to where he was.
yeah, you can tell he's fired up out there. Like when Ali came and took him out, did y'all see what he said?
No, I didn't catch
he
it.
he well PG friendly. He was like it's effing BS that he got taken out, and then he went to go talk to Ozzie Smith. And while he was talking to Ozzie Smith, Palante gave up the grand slam. And he was like, "I knew it." Like that's the type of face that he has. So you see, he wants to be out there. He wants to compete, and when you get that from someone like Jack Flaherty, he has 4 or 5 pitches that he can use. Like he's really good, honestly. It's just him being not healthy over the last few seasons has kind of had a toll on him, but he's back. I'm not gonna lie, he's back.
Yeah, as much as
Yeah,
as much as Jordan Montgomery fan I am, I have to go Flaherty. 2.95 ERA, you can't pass that up. Only
Yeah.
letting up 13 hits in 4 starts. I mean, that's just perfect as much as you can be. Um,
Yeah, and if you take away that seventh inning, his ERA would probably be under 2 right now. So that's really good.
yeah, I think the only issue with him, I mean, he's obviously striking out people about like a 4 average per game. He's just got to keep down those walks, man. He has
Yeah.
7 and 6 walks the first 2 starts, but I mean, in this last 2 he's had 4. combined. So
Right.
he's settling
Getting it
in. I
together.
like it. I like it.
Yeah. How about relief? Who do you guys think has been the best out of the bullpen?
Ooh, I mean, this is my favorite pitcher right now in the whole team. Zach Thompson. I just love his stuff, bro. I can't talk about him enough. He's, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
the in the whole season he's pitched 9.1 innings. He hasn't let up a earned run yet. He's walked four and gotten 8 hits against him. I mean, he's faced 38 batters and hasn't let up anything. So yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
he's
complain.
really good.
He
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really
When
good.
I went to the game on April 16th, he pitched 1.1 innings, didn't let up a hit, and he pitched 7 pitches, and all of them were strikes. So, I mean, 7 pitches and pitching 1.1 innings doesn't get any better.
Yeah, he's been our most consistent guy. Also, he's got us out of a lot of like tough situations. We take the starter out. The base. I remember when the bases were loaded. I forget what game it was. It was maybe like last week. But he came in with the bases loaded. You see him. He's confident. He's throwing everything for a strike. You know, he just has a confidence to him, man. I love lefties. There's something about it, like the way they go out there with the confidence.
I
Going
man,
after guys.
I like lefties across sports, man. Like something
Right.
about I don't know if it
Yeah,
just
I'm a
looks funny
lefty
to me,
myself.
but like lefty basketball players, lefty like quarterbacks, like something about them, they're fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, Nolan Gorman.
Yeah,
Like
and
he's just that guy.
I think it's a mental thing, man. Like
Yeah.
I feel like the lefty basketball players just like throw people for a loop. They're tough to guard, like
Right.
because it's like everybody else you're forcing right or you're forcing left,
Right.
but then you go to guard a lefty and he's cooking you left, and you're like, what is going on? So
Right.
something, I don't know. I'm a big fan of lefties. I think statistically, Zach Thompson has been our best relief pitcher. My personal favorite to watch though has been Cabrera, just because I was doubting him. I was not surprised that he didn't make the starting roster like you were. I actually was kind of happy about it, but the fact that he's here now and he's balling out, I've been really pleased with. So, um,
Yeah. Our lefties look really good, actually. Like
yeah,
JoJo and Genesis and Zach Thompson, like those are some guys. Like and Genesis Cabrera, yeah, he's fun to watch. When he strike people out, he shovel off the mound. I'm like, okay, okay. I love that. And yeah, Zach Thompson just going out there, going about his business. His curveball is like I feel like it's been unhittable when I watch. Like guys can't really square it up, and then he comes in there with like a 97 mile per hour fastball. So he's nice.
yeah.
So, little question for you guys to maybe spark something. Um, who are you guys taking, Geo or Hennessy's? Which one you guys would prefer out there?
What
Right.
situation is it? A setup
Like a
situation
like
or
a
what?
high leverage type of thing, or
High
medium
leverage.
leverage.
High medium leverage.
Um, I would say either. Honestly, I would
Yeah.
I would be content with either one of those, depending on what's the matchup. Like if it's lefties, put Genesis, and if it's like a lot of righties coming up, probably Geo. But as of right now, I think Genesis is looking better, just based on his stuff and like being able to find the zone. But
Um,
Geo has been doing good too.
I don't know,
Gio
man.
was Gio was nice in the Pittsburgh series.
Yeah, he was super nice.
I mean, Gallegos hasn't let up a run all season. Yeah,
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
they
Yeah,
they both strike out 14 and a half per nine.
that's
Uh,
electric.
the
Yeah.
Gio's only given up 1 hit in 5 innings. So I don't know. I think I
Yeah, he going.
if I had to pick, it'd be Gio, just 'cause that high arm angle. I think it kind of throws people off a little bit, especially when he throws that low curveball or changeup. He kind of just drops like crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I guess it does depend on the matchup.
They're
But
Hey, it's a good problem to have, isn't it? You got two guys like that can be in high leverage spots.
all right, so we're gonna go on a little intermission here, so we can move into our little confidence meter segment. So we'll be right back.
Cool.
All right, guys, welcome back. We're gonna do our segment that we implemented last week called the confidence meter
Yes,
segment,
sir.
where we rank players that we picked out from 1 to 5 on how confident we are in them in the future, and just do a little recap of how they've been playing. So, first player I want to get into is Mr. Lars Nootbaar. How are you guys seeing him since he got
No.
back?
Hey man, he is great to have him back. He's looked great in my opinion. Uh, I got another guy where you can just put him anywhere in the lineup and you'll know exactly what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a guy that has a good eye for the plate. He's gonna play a good outfield, has a good glove. Um, Confidence in him going forward, I think is like a solid 4 or maybe 4.5 because he's seeing the ball well. He had that home run, which that's good, but maybe some more doubles and triples and stuff. But I think that stuff will come along once you give him a full season.
Yeah.
So what you give him out of
I
5, Joe?
Out of 5, either a 4 or 4.5.
Okay. Go ahead, Addison. Sorry.
no, you're good. I think his eye is so underrated. I mean, let's see. He he walked 3 times against Pittsburgh, 3 times against Pittsburgh again, and then twice against Arizona. I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like that's insane. And then he's getting hits on top of that. I mean, he went
Bro.
1 for 1, 1 for 2, and then 1 for 3. Then he had a home run, and that's Fran.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, he does it all. His glove is really good still. Yeah, I'm right there with Gerald at a 4.55.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I'm looking at his stats right now, and he's he has a 565 on base percentage
Yeah,
and a 462 slugging, which is over 1,000 OPS, and an OPS plus. I feel like that's the best number to rate guys. He has a 190, 190. Yeah, he's been great.
no, I agree. I mean, it's obviously great to have him, especially when he plays top of the lineup. I really like it.
Yeah,
I'd personally give him a 4. I'm confident in him. You know, five is like kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't give out 5s pretty easily. That's just me.
yeah, yeah,
In 4 games, he's had 9 at bats, 2 hits, uh, walked 8 times. Like as you guys said, he's got 2.22 average, but as you mentioned, he's got a 558 on base percentage. So nothing I can complain about New Bar.
you he's getting on base over half the time right now, and you can't really be mad about that,
Yeah.
you know?
And he's got that pop, man. He hit that clutch homer when
Yeah,
I was there April 16th to tie
yeah.
the game. So,
The vibes were crazy.
yeah.
Everyone was yelling nude.
All right. Next player.
Also,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
just also him in the clubhouse was what I was gonna say. Like the pepper grinder, he really brings that popularity to it. Everyone on the team, you see him doing it. I saw Tyler O'Neill do it. I was like, oh, that's new.
Yeah, every time somebody
But
gets a hit, they do it, and then they pan
yeah,
the new bar on the bench.
yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
All right, so as we talked earlier about this guy, Mr. Miles Michaelis, I'd give him a 2.5. I mean, uh, I don't know. It's just rough. It's obviously the start of the season. It's 180 games. But as I talked about, he gives up 1.8 hits per inning, which is not very good. You're pretty much giving a whole game worth of hits in about like 3 or 4 innings. Um, and he just kind of seems to fall behind on at bats, which is never good. Because you want to start out with that strike. You want to, put that thought into the batter's head that they got to protect. So yeah, I'd give him a 2.5.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say I'm right in the middle at a 3 because we know what Miles Michaelis can be when he's right, and I'm I'm optimistic about him getting back to that. But yeah, like you said, it's not looking the best right now. I don't think it just completely looks like this all season. So optimistic about him going forward, but right now it isn't great. Looking at the stats, he has a 2 whip, which is not where you want it. For his career though, he has a 1.1 whip. So if he can at least cut the whip to like 1.5, by the time next week's podcast comes around, we can look at this. He can bring it down a little bit. You know, we'll be working with something with that.
Yeah, I'm I'm with Fran here. I'm gonna give him like a 2.5, but it's not like a heavy 2.5. Like it's 2.5 based on what he is now, but I'm not. It's not a concerning 2.5, I suppose. I think he's gonna bounce back. I'm hoping he bounced back at least. Um, so yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, like
I'm not super worried.
I would say look at him like we look at Jordan Hicks. Like Jordan Hicks, obviously not like comparing the pitcher, but like this situation, they said Jordan Hicks is going to be used in more low leverage situations because his ERA was like above 10. And then the last 2 outings that he's had, he's looked better. So I feel like that could be the same for Michaelis. The next 2 starts he goes out there, he can allow like maybe 3 runs or 2 runs, something like that. Then his ERA can be in a better spot. Then we'll feel better about it.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree. Uh, Moving on to one of my favorites recently, Tommy Edman. Uh, Addison, you want to start us off with Tommy?
Yeah. Let's see here. Uh, you know, I feel good about him. I mean, he has struggled recently, I suppose. Starting with the Pittsburgh series, got 3 hits against them, and then 3 hits against Arizona. So the bat offensively is just dipped down a little bit, but I mean, he's still. I've never been super confident in Tommy Edman offensively. I mean, you're looking for him to get little base hits and steal you bags. So um, he's not the most electric player offensively, but I think where he really brings the value to the team is obviously his defense and his glove. Um, so for that, I'm gonna give him like a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say 5. I'm not gonna lie, guys. He he almost hit for the cycle. Like
That is true.
um yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? You know, he hit
Yeah,
a 3 run home
yesterday.
run. He had a lot of good defensive plays. He had, as a lefty, he hit a triple, and then he hit a double as a right-hander. Like he was on fire. I'm not saying like going forward he's gonna continue to replicate that because, like you said, like Tommy Edman isn't very electric offensively, but when he can have that type of day,
Oh
like
yeah, he
I
absolutely gives you those type of days. Like you see him
yeah,
2, 3 times like a season, he's gonna almost hit for the cycle. Like because he's got
yeah,
the speed. Like he'll turn a line drive down the foul line into a triple, no problem. Like
yeah.
you know. So
And
Uh,
I love those type of players that can give you those contributions. And I don't mean
Yeah.
to cut you off, Frank. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm just super excited, man. I gotta stand up to say this. I'm
Yeah.
giving Tommy a 5. I mean,
Yeah.
he's hitting 274 with a on base percentage of 366. Like you said, career game, man. Career
Yeah, career
career
game.
game. Four at
Career
bats, three
game.
hits, 3 runs.
That is the
Drove in
best Tommy
5
ever we've
RBIs,
seen.
1 home run, 1 walk. I mean, my goodness, I was loving what I
Yeah.
saw yesterday. Yeah, almost hit for the cycle. That's what I got to say about my man Tom.
Yeah. Going forward, we'll see if he can continue it, but that's definitely something to build off of.
Woo!
Best career game.
All
I
right.
like
And
that.
lastly, on the confidence meter, I just want to talk about our MVP, Paul Goldschmidt, Mr. Paulie
Goldie.
himself. I'd give him a 5, man. He's our MVP. He's hitting 313, 439 on base percentage, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. He obviously walks all the time. He's got 14 walks
Yeah.
on the season and 67 at bats. And he struck out 13 times, which is one less than how many times he walked. So my God, I
Right.
can't say anything less about him. Just straight 5 for me.
Yeah, last year he came out the gates. He was kind of cold to start the season, based on what he started last year with, we would probably say it was like a 2 or 3 confidence, but he ended up turning that around and he won MVP. And this year, they talk about guys having slumps after their MVP season. Well, he's not doing that. He's gonna be the same guy. Like he's gonna continue to hit. He sees the ball well. He drives the ball everywhere. He has a good glove at first base. You know, that's an MVP level player. So, like you said, 5. I'll probably say 4.5 or 5. Try not to get fives out, but that's the MVP.
Yeah, I'm right there with you at a 5. Like, you know what you get with him every day. I mean, perennial Gold Glove, perennial MVP candidate. Um, you know, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't say enough about
He's
him.
a great veteran, good clubhouse guy.
Yeah.
He's not gonna he's not gonna be in the media, saying bad stuff about the team. And that's the Cardinal way. He's like the
Mhm.
perfect Cardinals role model. You know,
Yeah,
always
I think
confident, good.
absolutely. I think he's the guy that's going to kind of take the reins after Wayno finally retires and obviously missing Yachty and Albert. I think he's that veteran guy that the young guys, because his team is so young, the young guys can really look up to and learn from. And um, yeah, I think he's going to be invaluable just in the clubhouse for the next, however long we have him, the next 5, 6 years.
Yeah, you can tell what he does is contagious, like the way he goes about his business. Like Brendan Donovan now uses the same bat as him.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Goldschmidt, he's probably giving him advice, about ways to approach it at bat, swinging and certain counts and stuff like that. Goldie is a perfectionist. Like he goes to like some type of lab and he like uses like VR or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah, the VR.
he
I love it.
yeah, he really cares about being good. That stuff is contagious. Him and Arenado and Contreras, that's contagious in the locker room for the
Yeah.
young guys. So
What I love about him that differs from like Albert, Albert was super by the book. He didn't, he didn't want guys like over celebrating.
yeah,
You get your hit, your home run, whatever. You run the base, you go sit down. Maybe tip your hat to the crowd. That was it. But I love that I see, Goldie's up there on the rail. He's doing the pepper grind. He's got this big old smile on his face. Like,
yeah,
he's not afraid to let the young guys do young guy things.
yeah, yeah. He knows his role and he's very good at his role. He knows he isn't the youngest guy. You know, he knows New Bar is a sensation and we got so much young talent. Let them have fun out there. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're in a new era of baseball. I feel like, it's a lot more like celebrating and
Oh yeah.
Jazz Chisholm's doing the Euro step, and all types of crazy stuff. So,
It's a new
you know,
generation out there, man.
yeah,
So yeah.
for real.
Well, that will conclude
Uh,
our little segment, confidence meter segment. So we're just go into a little intermission, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. So Addison here proposed he sent us an article to look over. So we're just gonna go over it a little bit and get our opinions on it. So Addison, you
let me
want to
get
start
this
us off with
pulled up.
this?
Yeah, so 3 days ago, Sports Illustrated put out an article talking about dealing Tyler O'Neill for a frontline starter. And they addressed that obviously O'Neill alone isn't going to fetch more than like a 3 or 4 type starter right now. But they are talking about packaging O'Neill. The article is talking about, sorry, let me not confuse that with Cardinals front management. The
Mhm.
article is talking about proposing O'Neill plus Tommy Edmond or Brendan Donovan for a frontline starter, and the frontline starters that they name are Otani and Corbin Burns. And obviously, those two names, really fire you up as a Cardinals fan. The perspective of getting one of those guys. Corbin Burns, I've heard reports that he's having issues with the front office in Milwaukee. And then obviously, I think Shohei is a free agent this year. So, what do you guys think about trying to make a move on one of those guys?
Um, as a Cardinals fan, having Corbin Burns would be very good, but the first question I would ask myself is how realistic would that be? Having the division
Right,
rivals trading us their ace, Plus,
right.
they traded Hater last season, and that was one of the more confusing moves. So that would be hard. And as far as Otani, that would be, crazy. That would be like a glorious day for a Cardinals fan. But with him being a free agent, how much are we willing to give them for maybe one season of Otani if he doesn't sign back here?
Yeah, for some reason, I don't
Yeah,
know. It all kind of seems kind of unrealistic. With First, I'm gonna start with the Brewers. They're 14-5. Like they're on
Yeah.
fire right now.
absolutely.
They're not gonna trade, especially like Gerald said. They're not gonna trade the division rival ace to us.
Yeah.
And also, I was scrolling today through Instagram or Twitter. I don't know. It was either one of those, and I saw that there's a very high chance of Shohei getting traded this season if the Angels aren't in playoff contention. Um, but again, I don't know. If we're really gonna give up that much for Shohei just for him to go to another team after this season, because if I had to guess, we're not gonna pay him the money he wants or he deserves just because we're not that type of club. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. As much as I would love an ace, I feel like those two options are not the ones that we would get. But that's just me.
Yeah, see, with those type of names, like the bigger names in baseball, like the Juan Soto trade last season, we were supposedly in on that trade, and then the the Nationals were talking about pieces that they wanted us to include, and the front office were like, no, like we're not giving up those pieces. So I wonder, do they still value them the same? Maybe Dylan Carlson would be expendable, but how much does that really influence when you have a name like Juan Soto or Shohei Ohtani or one of the best players in baseball?
I think the Cardinals were too frugal in the Juan Soto trade. I'm not saying that they should have gotten him, but they're because I think you're right. It wasn't a Carlson that was like the one piece that or one of the pieces that they didn't want to give up.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you talking about? You wouldn't give up Dylan Carlson for Juan Soto? Like, are you crazy? But um, I think if the Cardinals wanted to pay a guy like they didn't want to get Soto. They didn't want to pay uh Rodon, the pitcher that went to the Yankees this year. But if you're gonna pay a guy, if you're saving your money and saving your money for years that the Cardinals have been, if you're gonna pay one guy, would it not be Shohei Ohtani?
It definitely would. I think he's the probably the best talent of MLB history. I'm not gonna lie. Like we've
Yeah,
never seen anything like him as far as being an ace on the mound and also being a middle of the lineup guy that plays great defense and has speed.
yeah,
As
So
much as I would love Shohei to be on the team, you also got to look at it as not a fan, and like they're probably gonna lose a lot of revenue if they sign somebody of that high of a contract, which the Cardinals like are one of the top attendance teams in the league, which obviously brings in a lot of revenue, uh, which also means they sell a lot of beer and drinks and food and all stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like they would not do it just because it would. I don't know. It would just mess up like the tradition they really have with like how they spend their money, and obviously they're probably gonna their revenue is gonna drop a lot, and I don't know. That's just how I see it.
yeah, when you look at the Cardinals and how our front office works, we don't have the same mentality as the Padres or the Mets, unfortunately. But you can also look at it in a fortunate way, I guess, because long term stability as far as winning. But I'm not sure if they would go all in this year. You know, we'll see though. I hope so.
Alright.
Maybe.
Any last
Maybe.
thoughts about this topic?
no, it was just something I saw and I found interesting. I want to get you guys' takes on. So
All right, so we're just gonna recap the most recent series, the Diamondback series, real quick. Starting out with Game One. Well, obviously we dropped the series to the Diamondbacks, who aren't too bad this season. It seems like.
they're tough. They're
We
tough.
let
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
six runs, 8 runs, and 5 runs, which obviously hurts because of our pitching. As you know, it's something we always talk about. We're just getting a little tired of talking about it, but uh, in game one, we only let up 1 run until the seventh, where we let up five. Um, Flaherty did pitch, but as we talked earlier, it wasn't fully his fault. Palanta did give up the grand slam, which was 4 out of those 5 runs. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, we scored 2 in the 8th, but it wasn't enough. How did you guys see that first game?
Uh, First game to me, you see, you really think it's gonna be a pitcher's duel. The first game was Flaherty, correct? Yeah. So you see Flaherty going out there versus Merrill Kelly, my fault, who is their team's ace. They're kind of having a pitching duel, and then you get to the seventh inning. Jack kind of runs out of gas. But I think there was some good things to take away and some good things to build on going into the second and third game. But that pitching, it has to be there, especially versus a tough offense like Arizona. They got some young guys that are tough. So um, pitching wasn't the best in that one inning, but I think we built on it for game two. We still lost, but going into game three, obviously we exploded. So
Yeah, I mean, we first game we had a total of 6 hits, which is I don't know. I feel like it's a little down for our type of expectations for our offense. Not just
yeah,
from a fan point of view, but I feel like our our own players on the team expect more from themselves. So yeah, 6-3 loss on the first game. A little rough, but yeah. Game two, lost 8-7. You know, we were winning 2-1 until the fourth, where we let up 6. Another inning where we just let up a whole bunch of runs. Man, we
yeah,
look good until just that one inning just takes us out of it. It feels like. We did rally in the ninth for three to make it 7-8, but it just wasn't enough again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game, you like you said, it was 2-1, and then we just have one inning where it just falls apart, and the offense tries to come back, gain a little momentum behind Contreras and everyone getting hits, but just wasn't enough. It's hard when you have that type of deficit to come back from, no matter how good the offense is. So
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's like I okay, I actually have been thinking a lot about um just the Cardinals and my other sports team, the Lakers right now. If you watch the Lakers this season, they have when they've lost games that they were in contention for, it's because the Lakers for like one quarter a game just can't score. They
yeah,
just they figure they it's like they forget how to score. And like they have one bad quarter where they score like 12 points in the quarter and they blow their 10-point lead and all of a sudden they're down 10 because the other team drops 30 on them. And it's like that with the Cardinals, it's they're good, they're in contention, and then all of a sudden in a random fourth or fifth inning, they give up 5 runs and you're like, wait a second, like what just happened? So it's I don't know. It's been really tough.
yeah, but if I feel like once after we have like that fourth or fifth inning where things just blow up, that kind of demoralizes the team, and it's really on the guys to take good at bats and um try to come back into it, but then that also puts pressure on your offense at the same time. So, you
Which
know,
credit to them though, like they've come back before. Like
yeah,
the Denver series, they went down. What was it? They went down like 4-1, brought it back to win. Or no, they went. Where did they go? They went down in the second game. Um, I think they were still down 4-1, but they brought it back and won 9-6.
yeah,
Um, the other day, who was it? Was it Flaherty? I guess they give up. Yeah, they give up the 5 runs and they get two on the board, but it's just not enough to get the win, unfortunately.
yeah,
Um, so the team, like we always say, the team is relentless. The team doesn't really get demoralized, which is great to see. But it's hard in baseball. Like scoring in baseball is hard. So when you give up 4 runs, it doesn't matter that you have one of the best offenses in baseball. Like you know, they're it's going to be hard to win games.
yeah,
Totally agree.
like,
Um,
yeah,
last game of the series, game three. Uh, I think we all know offense was hot from the start.
Yep.
3-run first, 4-run third. Uh, our starting pitcher Woodford did look pretty good out there. I think
Mm-hmm.
he pitched 5 innings, only let up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, but can't complain about that. Uh, yeah, I mean knowing that we are probably gonna score at least 4 or 5 each game, 4 earned runs isn't too bad, and he pitched 82 pitches. So yeah, what'd you guys see
Mm-hmm.
yesterday at the game?
I really liked it because I felt like that second game we were building momentum the way we were taking our at bats. You could just see that by the time Madison Bumgarner got on the mound for them, he just got DFA'd today,
Yep.
actually. Um, you put a lefty out there versus the Cardinals, we're gonna be dangerous. Like
Oh yeah.
you get, you get Carlson on his right side, you get Edmund on his right side, Goldie, Arenado, Contreras, Jordan Walker, like those are all guys that are just gonna hit versus a lefty. So I seen it coming, Uh the the announcer Chip Carey was talking about how uh since Madison Bumgarner's accident or whatever he had, his velocity's been down. So we have a lefty coming in there throwing like 92. I feel like I like our chances when we have that, and that just shows 14 runs on the day.
Absolutely. I think this lineup's super dangerous against lefties. Uh, yeah. So I think it was expected that game. I think first of all, I think Woodford has been another one of the pleasant surprises of the year. I didn't really have high expectations for him coming into the year, but every time I see him out there, he seems to be getting better and better and better. So, um, I'm really pleased with Woodford. Baumgartner, first of all, this lineup, especially with your big guys like Arnado and Goldschmidt, absolutely destroy lefties, and they've been doing it for years. So you get a guy like Baumgartner, kind of at the end of his career. Um, I didn't know he even had an X. I didn't know what that was, but yeah. So that was just going to be a tough matchup for Arizona, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
Yeah, the craziest part about the game was I think Goldie and Arenado were at some point the only players on our team that didn't have a hit. Like
yeah,
you have contributions from Tommy Edman, O'Neill's contributing, and Nolan Gorman hits a grand slam. He's showing that he needs to be in the lineup every day. I'm not gonna lie, like lefty or righty, because his stats. He isn't he hitting like 350, maybe like 360.
300 at
You
least.
know, yeah,
yeah.
300 at least, and he's hitting with power. We all know he has that, but he's also taking his walks, and I feel like that spot where you see the bases loaded, you see Nolan Gorman coming up, and the pitcher they have on the mound, he can't find the strike zone. Um, you basically saw Nolan Gorman like hunt the heater, and he crushed it. So
Which is something that he was struggling with last season, which is great. It's
yeah,
great to see. Uh, but yeah, we talked about it earlier. Tommy Edman with his career game. Obviously, he was. I feel like he was the heart of the offense yesterday. 4 at bats, 3 hits, 3 runs, 5 runs batted in, 1 home run. Um, yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. And I also loved seeing Hicks close the game out because I don't know, it just gave
yeah.
him a chance to be himself, just do what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, you're up 14-5. It's nothing serious. You're not gonna give up 9 runs. Well, hopefully not. But um, 18 pitches in 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. It's fine. I'm not complaining about that. So yeah,
Yeah,
just
I
give him a little
agree.
confidence boost.
Yeah.
All right. And closing out the episode, we're just gonna go over the Mariners series, 3-game series in Seattle. So first game, I think it's today.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, we got Matt out on the mound against
No, brother.
Kirby, who's got
Yeah,
a
here we go.
3.78 ERA. How do you guys see this first game going?
Really, what I'm gonna be focused on is just how the offense looks versus a good pitcher and Kirby. Cause I hope Max gets on track, but you know, I think it could get ugly, maybe on that end. So I'm just going out there seeing if the offense still looks good versus quality pitching. Uh, if we do win the first game, that's great. That'll give us momentum, but you know, I think it can go either way.
Yeah, I'm sort of looking for that, trying to just gauge temperatures, I guess. Coming up here in this first game, I think if they can hit Kirby, I'll be really happy because they've got Luis Castillo the next day. So
Mhm.
it's going to be back-to-back games with really tough pitching. And even Chris Flexen, the third game, I really like him. I think. I mean,
Mhm.
he came out hot. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. but he's been a guy that's been on my radar. He came out really hot his first two games, and then he's had a couple bad starts, his last two. But I think the Mariners, first of all, are dangerous. Like I don't. They've been kind of a pushover team for a while, but all of a sudden, they got J. Rod, they got Ty France, they got Cal Raleigh. I, I'm interested to see this. I think I would love to see the Cardinals win this series because that would restore some confidence that we could beat a serious playoff contender. Um, after dropping games to like Atlanta and Arizona. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's a playoff team, over there in Seattle. They play with a lot of confidence. They got a lot of young guys. J. Rod was the rookie of the year. Good pitching. So that's a very formidable team. So if we look formidable against a formidable team, I think that gives us confidence going into the second and third game in the series. But guess we'll just see.
Yeah, game two against Luis Castillo. I actually am pretty confident in that game. Our whole lineup, or half our lineup, pretty much is hitting over 280 on Castillo. Arenado's hitting 333. Carlson is hitting 350. Contreras is hitting 471 against him. Even Kishner is hitting 286 on him. So I don't know. He's obviously got a .73 ERA, but I don't know. His history says that we've done good against him. So
Yeah, you gotta.
it could go our way.
Yeah, you just gotta think about it. He pitched for the Reds for a while. It was that blockbuster trade that sent them over to Seattle, but he was in our division. We got a lot of looks on him, so
yeah,
I feel like we can have a good game plan going into that matchup. And it could get we could go out there and give him like 5 runs. I know he's been very good, but we have in the past, so we'll just have to see.
Game three, we got Flaherty out on the mound. So hopefully that'll go our way, going against Addison's guy Flexen.
yeah,
Uh, 7.79 ERA. So I haven't really followed him throughout the season. So I guess his last two starts really just jumped
yeah.
his
He's
ERA up. So
Yeah, he got shelled by the Cubs and shelled by Milwaukee. But I mean, he started the year, pitched 4 innings, gave up 1 earned run against Cleveland, and then 5 innings and 2 earned runs against the Angels. So I mean, this guy's no joke. But obviously, I'm more excited in that game to see Flaherty again, see how what he's worked on since his last game. So I think the third game will be a fun one.
Yeah, I think this type of game for us, we haven't really seen the Mariners over the past few years at least, because the schedule, we're trying to play everyone in the league, so this is kind of our first look with their organization in the past few years. I'm just interested to see how we will compete against them because I feel like they're in a similar tier as us, like probably gonna make the playoffs, but do we know if they're gonna make a run in the playoffs? Feel like we're kind of right there with them, so it'll be a good matchup. I like it.
yeah. Um. So yeah, I think that'll wrap up our episode for week three of the Cardinals season. Um. I thank you guys for coming on here once again, joining me talk about some baseball, as everybody loves some baseball.
It's a
Um,
pleasure.
so yeah, we will
Yeah.
catch you next week, same time, Fridays. Um, should be posted up early morning Fridays or late night Thursdays. So yeah,
Yeah.
we will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening in.
See ya.
See you later.